sort of the Democratic liberal assumption. I need money, I raise taxes.
Then what are you going to cut, sir? What do you cut?
Wait. Let me explain it for a second. The way to do it sometimes is to reduce taxes and raise more money. For example, just a real example. I ran a city with 759 bridges, probably the most used bridges in the nation, some of the most used in the world. I was able to acquire more money to fund capital programs. I reduced the number of poor bridges from 5% to 1.7%. I was able to raise more money to fix those bridges by lowering taxes. I lowered income taxes by 25%. I was collecting 40% more from the lower income tax than from the higher income tax. Or I'll give you another example. Senator Edwards last week recommended increasing the capital gains tax from 15% to 28% because he wants more money. Now, Senator Edwards hasn't had much executive experience because the reality is the last time we raised the capital gains tax, you go back and check it, from 20 to 28%, we lost $45 billion. There is a liberal democratic assumption that if you raise taxes, you raise money. We should put more money into infrastructure. We should have a good program for doing it. But the knee-jerk liberal democratic reaction, raise taxes to get money, very often is a very big mistake.
Governor Romney, do you want to cut taxes to fix more bridges?
There's no question but that the biggest source of revenue for this country, if you really want to make some money in this country, really get some money so we can repair our infrastructure and build for the future, the biggest source of that is a growing American economy. If the economy is growing slowly, boy, tax revenues hardly move at all, and boy, you better raise taxes to get more money for all the things you want to do. But if the economy is growing quickly, then we generate all sorts of new revenue, and the best way to keep the economy rolling is to keep our taxes down. That's why I propose middle-income Americans ought to pay no taxes on their savings. Invest in the future of the economy. Growth helps us provide the revenue that we need. Our bridges, let me tell you what we did in our state. We found that we had 500 bridges, roughly, that were deemed structurally deficient. And so we changed how we focused our money. Instead of spending it to build new projects, the bridge to nowhere, new trophies for congressmen, we instead said, fix it first. We have to reorient how we spend our money.
Senator McCain, you about 30 seconds.
We passed a $50 billion transportation bill that had $2 billion in pork barrel earmark projects, $233 million for a bridge to nowhere in Alaska, to an island with 50 people on it. Not one dime in those pork barrel projects was for inspection or repair of bridges.
Senator McCain, you got 10 seconds.
They were for pork barrel projects. I'll veto every single bill that comes across my desk and make the authors of those pork barrel
And that is the last word. We're going to go to
famous.
commercial. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
We want to know what you think. Click on politics@abcnews.com and vote. Who do you think is winning the debate? This special edition of This Week with George Stephanopoulos, the Iowa Debates, is brought to you by FedEx. For all your shipping needs, relax. It's FedEx.
A major storm in the area left a lot of people in need. FedEx Kinko's team member Doug Robinson's home survived without much damage. So he knew his time was better spent by helping others. So instead of working on his own home, Doug decided to spend the next few days working at his FedEx Kinko's, doing everything he could to help customers get their lives back on track. Hear more stories from around the world at FedExStories.com.
You see a shipping backlog. We saw a forward-looking solution, offering a smart investment opportunity. Perspective like this has made Franklin a leader in equity investing. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
Now headquarters is wherever you are. With AT&T data, video, voice, and now wireless, all working together to create a new world of mobility. Welcome to the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
It's a great gift to be in a position to make a difference.
Being in the public eye enables us to draw attention to things that matter, like the environment.
Children at risk. African relief.
Medicines for those in need.
Or keeping Lake Winnipesaukee clean. Hold it. Lake what? Lake who? Who's that guy?
I'm Tim. I work in the office next door. But keeping that lake clean is what matters to me.
I've been there once. It was nice.
All right, let's keep minute. Let's keep minute. He's got a good face. Don't overdo it. Arms folded. Never mind.
I swam in it once. When I got out, I had to take my bathing suit off, and it burst into flames. It happens anytime I swim.
That's what, yeah. Okay, just like that.
The Members Project. American Express will fund one project, but we need you. The more card members who sign up, the more we give. Vote now at membersproject.com. You don't have to be famous to make a difference. Just a card member. Are you a card member?
The Taylor family saved up to send their son Nate to music camp in Canada. The family sent the cello with FedEx Ground. But the cello got held up in customs. FedEx Gateway Operations Manager Fran Pisagno knew he could make a difference. Mrs. Taylor filled out the paperwork, and knowing how important it was to her, Fran personally walked the cello through customs, and Nate was able to get back to practice. Hear more stories from around the world at FedExStories.com.
You see a troubled business. We saw superior turnaround potential, offering a smart investment opportunity. Perspective like this has made Mutual Series a leader in value investing. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
The most elite women in golf descend on the historic Old Course at St. Andrews for the Ricoh Women's British Open, today at 1 on ABC.
Tomorrow, an extreme competition to walk off the weight.
Go! The march is on!
12 competitors, 500 miles, and the more who finish, the more they'll win. Fat March premieres tomorrow, 9, 8 Central, after an all-new wife swap, only on ABC. Anytime, anywhere. ABC. Start here.
Money, money, money.
Yeah.
People love free checks for life and free ATM cash withdrawals with a WAMU free checking account.
WAMU, ranked highest in customer satisfaction with retail banking in the West Pacific region.
Waiting time for medical treatment authorization is 40 minutes.
Time and Temp is brought to you by Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity.
The Iowa Debates, a special edition of This Week with George Stephanopoulos. Here again from Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa, George Stephanopoulos.
And we are back now for the final half hour of the Republican debate here in Iowa. And we want to start out this half hour with a question that came in over the internet. His name is Sean Kennedy. He's from Leesburg, Virginia, and he had a question about Vice President Cheney.
During the Bush administration, there's been a growing controversy over the role of the office of the Vice President. As a candidate for president, what authority would you delegate to the office of Vice President? And should those authorities be more clearly defined through a constitutional amendment?
Senator McCain?
Having been considered for that post several times, I've thought a lot about that. The Vice President really only has two duties. One is to cast a tie-breaking vote in the case of a tie vote in the Senate, and the other is to inquire daily as to the health of the President. I really would do what some presidents have done in the past. A vice president brings a certain area of expertise and talent. I would probably assign some of those areas. It would be like telecommunications or some other important issues.
So not as wide-ranging as Vice President Cheney had.
Look, I would be very careful that everybody understood that there's only one president.
Governor Thompson, you served in the cabinet with Vice President Cheney. Do you, and I heard of the implication in Senator McCain's answer there, do you think that Vice President Cheney had too much power?
I believe that Vice President Cheney is criticized for a lot of things that he doesn't do.
And